AI may be the best first mate I've ever had, but it will never captain my ship. And this isn't only about AI, it's about what happens when we stop exercising our judgment. And here's why the word captain means so much to me. My husband Tom and I sailed over 5,000 miles from California through the Panama Canal, relocating to Florida. But we also lived aboard. We stood night watches many nights in a row. We navigated uncertain conditions and experienced a responsibility at sea. And so we know exactly what that term means. And a real captain, they may consult instruments, charts. We read conditions, the weather, the waves, the currents, and we consult advisors and the crew. But ultimately, we make the call. The captain makes the call. I'll take you back to when we bought the boat. It was in San Francisco Bay. We sailed it under the Golden Gate Bridge, a thrill of my life, and promptly encountered what's known as the Potato Patch, which is very rough seas outside San Francisco Bay, where many currents collide. It was a wild ride outside of that bay and down the coast, where we would ultimately take her to LA Harbor. But we had a stop to make in Morro Bay to get fuel. The wind finally died down. We weren't on a bucking bronco anymore. And it was getting late in the day. The sun was starting to go down. More importantly, the fuel dock was going to close. So we made the decision, made the call that we were going to goose the engine a little bit, go a little bit faster, get there a little bit sooner. But we encountered an unexpected problem, and that is a coolant hose broke. The engine was cooled by seawater, and we heard a loud pop and discovered that the cooling hose had split. There was seawater flooding the engine compartment. So it wasn't critical. The engine was still being cooled. So we made our way into Morro Bay, got over to an auto parts store, replaced the hose, fueled up, and we're continuing along our way. The captain remains responsible for the vessel, the crew, the course, the decisions, and most importantly, the souls that are aboard that vessel. Now, over the past year, I haven't been creating much publicly, but I've been working a lot behind the scenes. Been writing the second edition of my book, Claim Your Dream Life, recording the new audiobook version, and I've had a chance to pause and rethink my business from the ground up. And yes, I've been learning how to work with AI. And I've stayed intentionally quiet because I wanted to figure out exactly what I believe before I started talking about it. I wasn't waiting for AI to get better. I was waiting until I could understand my relationship with it. Now, there's some things that AI can do quite brilliantly. And there's some things I haven't talked about much publicly. But the truth is, I use AI now almost every day. And if that surprises you, that's good. Because if I've done my job well, you haven't seen AI. You've seen me. Don't get me wrong, AI has certainly helped me organize really complicated information, a lot of content that I have created over the years. It's helped me reveal patterns and generate some possibilities. It's helped me challenge some of my assumptions, think through different alternatives, speed up the execution process. It's supported my creativity. I supply the human element, but it helps me recognize patterns, things that I feel deeply about. And honestly, I'm pretty enthusiastic about the power that this tool has. But make no mistake, an instrument is not a captain. There are plenty of things that AI can't do for us and shouldn't do for us. Now, I have an AI assistant and I named it Sunny. My name's Dawn Sunny Fit. And we work together every day. And Sunny's actually developed a great sense of humor, which surprised me. And we joke about the Kraken. A little while ago, the platform I use introduced an image generator, which I have affectionately named the Kraken. And the Kraken will take over if you just mention the word image. And we might have a conversation, brainstorming a concept, thinking about the best way to present an idea. And suddenly, like a creature rising from the deep, it creates an image. And it's created resort brochure beach Barbie Dawn standing on a beach in a flowing white dress with the wrong shoulders, hips, and stance. Or how about the ominous looking, I want you, Dawn, or bad skin Dawn, or fake smile Dawn? None of these are me. These were all thumbnails that were generated by AI. Now, for real, I'm the woman who crossed oceans on a 50-foot sailboat, rebuilt businesses, owns a boutique hotel, and has wind-blown hair most of the time. That's exactly my point about AI. While it's an amazing crew member, it's a terrible captain. And AI can't decide what kind of person you want to be. It can't determine what matters the most to you. It can't choose which risks are worth taking. It can't supply the lived wisdom or accept moral responsibility. It can't own the consequences. It can't choose a destination that's worthy of your life. And it just might take undue credit. My friend Chuck is a top of his field copywriter, has been doing so for decades. He's very, very good at what he does. And he has been conversing with it, bouncing off ideas, asking for alternatives. And in the midst of a chat about his work, ChatGPT chimed in and said, oh, the sales letter we wrote, taking credit for what Chuck created. This is about authorship, truth, credit, and accountability. But the broader implication is outsourcing your judgment. I was watching CBS Sunday Morning recently, and there were two experts from opposite ends of the political spectrum who agreed that the US Congress was designed for compromise, but that compromise has become a dirty word. And I'm not talking about politics here. I'm talking about nuance and what happens when it disappears, when every question becomes a binary choice, every concession becomes a betrayal, certainty becomes more valuable than discernment. Institutions and relationships lose the ability to function. AI didn't create our desire for easy, absolute answers, but it sure can make outsourcing our thought processes seductively convenient. When I was younger, so many things seemed black and white. Answer was apparent. Then I went to law school and was trained to argue both sides of an issue, not because both are always equal or right, but because you can't exercise sound judgment until you understand the strongest arguments on the other side. Plus, I'm a Libra, and that sign is the scales, balance, right? And understanding another's perspective doesn't mean surrendering my values. It helps me make sure that my conclusions are actually mine. Understanding the other side of an argument doesn't weaken your convictions. It tests, can they hold? So as life unfolded, it introduced varying shades of gray, not because I lost my convictions, but because I gained perspective. Accepting both and on an issue isn't a refusal to choose, it's how we choose wisdom. Acknowledging complexity isn't the absence of conviction, it's the presence of perspective. Wisdom means holding complexity, listening, adapting, and still choosing a course. We do not outsource our identity, judgment, values, or responsibility because integrity demands that we remain accountable for what we create and choose to put into the world. And that's directly connected to AI assisted writing, leadership, business decisions, political thinking, and designing a life. Now, this video really isn't about AI at all. It's really about becoming your own authority. And authority doesn't mean certainty or arrogance. Authority is informed self-trust. Midlife is precisely when women are asked to choose a new course. And AI can certainly help you explore possibilities, examine beliefs and assumptions, organize your thoughts and ideas, and build a plan. But AI cannot tell you who you are or what you genuinely want. AI can help you chart a course, but you must decide where you're going and why. AI can calculate your route. It cannot decide what destination is worthy of your life. I want to leave you with a couple of questions. Where in your life have you began outsourcing a decision that requires your own discernment? And where is one place where you need to reclaim the helm? Without intention, even capable, independent women can drift. For me, this has never really been about AI. AI is just the latest tool. The real question is, who is making the decisions? I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to use every instrument at my disposal. Listen to wise advisors, study the charts, respect the conditions, welcome new possibilities, but never forget who is responsible for choosing the course. Because life isn't something we're meant to watch from the sidelines. We're meant to participate in it. And that's why AI will always be my first mate, but never my captain.